Hello, Munya Bedi. It's truly a pleasure to have you today with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me and share your expertise on such an important topic, mental health. Your job as a Theta Healing practitioner and coach, where you help individuals overcome emotional barriers and reconnect with their true selves, is incredibly inspiring. Thank you again for joining. And as we all know, mental health has a huge impact on our daily life, from our routines to our personal growth. But despite its importance, it's still a topic that many struggle to talk about openly. So I'm very excited to discover and explore this subject with you today and hear your insights on how can mental health affect individuals and how we can all take steps towards better emotional well-being. So to
Thank you.
begin, Munya, thank you. So to begin, Munya, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your work and how it connects to mental health?
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. It's a great, immense pleasure to share my knowledge and experience and my love and passion for the human mind, soul, and heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a life coach, a wellness life coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's
Mm-hmm.
many different types of
Yeah.
coaches, but I decided to go for wellness. And before we begin, I mean, I feel like calling this presentation or this exchange that we have mental wellness instead
Mm-hmm.
of it being called mental
Mm-hmm.
health. And I'm going to explain to you later on why
Mm-hmm.
it is important to use the terminology of wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a life coach, I'm a theta healer. So what
Mm-hmm.
is a theta healer? A theta
Exactly.
healer works with the neuro-linguistic reprogrammation of the subconscious mind. So we have this ability as coaches to ask the questions to go find out what's going on under the surface. So
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes people will come and see us with a behavior frustration, and we'll start with that element, that subject, and slowly we're going to go. If I could use the example of an iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so on the top of the iceberg, on the tip of the iceberg, we have the behavior, or we have the frustration, or the recurring events
Mm-hmm.
that are happening that we want to change. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and our job is to go see what's hiding in the subconscious mind and where the actual work needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh.
see. That's so interesting and inspiring. Thank you so much. And now that we have an understanding of your work, let's dive deeper into the challenges people face when it comes to mental health, especially in places like Morocco. Why do you think many people still find it difficult to talk about openly?
First emotion that comes up when you ask me this question
Hmm.
is shame. Okay,
Yeah.
so there is a shame
Hmm.
in being um, maybe not in control.
Hmm.
Okay, these
Hmm.
are the
Yeah,
two
I see.
words that are coming up right now: is shame and control.
Hmm.
In a society where we accept physical
Hmm.
physical illness, but we won't accept anything that has to do with mental or emotional, is probably also related to the fact that mental health is often associated to um, being crazy
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
not being sane.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't want to associate themselves to that type of, of words or stigmatization.
Hmm.
Therefore, they will completely block that, but it's going to show in their behavior. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
so I can tell you someone who has a fragile
Hmm.
mental wellness just by their behavior.
Hmm.
So we don't even need to have a diagnosis, because of
Hmm.
course, who diagnoses mental health or wellness or anxiety or stress? they're the doctors or
Mm-hmm.
the psychologists
Yeah.
or even the
Yeah,
psychiatrists, right?
yeah, exact. Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. I believe too that we need to take more proactive steps in raising awareness about mental health, especially here in Morocco. Um, However, many people nowadays, many people experience stress in their daily lives. But how can we know when it comes to something more serious, to something more important that we need to pay attention to, like a mental health issue?
Excellent question, and very, very accurate with the what is the limit between sane stress,
Mm-hmm.
important stress, stress that helps us thrive,
Mm.
go forward in life,
Yeah,
take a leap of faith,
the
and the
positive
stress
stress.
blocks us
Mm-hmm.
in actually attaining our goals.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what happens is the body is made very, very closely connected to our brain.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we will always, and I say always, have signs before getting to that stage where we're experiencing stress or depression
Mm-hmm.
or mental health situations, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the first element is going to be your body. Your body will send you signs.
Yeah,
What are these signs?
we talked
Headache,
about that before.
confusion,
Mm-hmm.
impulsivity, trouble sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
change in our nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety is another level of stress where you're constantly feeling like you're in danger, but there is no mental conscious danger in front of you, but you just
Mm-hmm.
have this overwhelming feeling inside of you that something terrible is about to happen.
Mm. I see clearly. This piece of information were clear and so practical. Thank you so much. And given how challenging this can be, what's one small advice you would recommend and that could help improve someone's mental well-being on a daily basis?
Okay. So mental well-being is associated to three things:
Mm-hmm.
how you sleep, what you think, and what you eat.
Mm-hmm. Three things.
Okay.
Okay.
So somebody can invest a lot of time in going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
They can invest a lot of time in watching what they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So staying away from sugar, staying away or, decreasing their intake of sugar, of salt, sodium, of fatty foods.
Mm-hmm.
But if their mental, their beliefs, the belief system that they have is
Mm-hmm.
a victim type of mentality where everything is happening to them instead of everything is happening for them,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no equilibrium between what they are putting in their body and what they're feeding their brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then this thing goes with the opposite. Somebody that's feeding their brain with positive affirmations, with meditation, with connection to nature, with animals, with people, being in
Mm-hmm.
service,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not taking care of what they're putting inside their bodies. So what they're eating, how they're sleeping is another element. So if you don't have a sufficient amount of sleep, and for you young students that
Mm-hmm.
have to study a lot and that
Mm-hmm.
have to perform, this is something that's usually the aspect, the food and the sleep are usually both aspects that are the most
Okay.
challenging
Mm-hmm.
for a student. Okay, I
Yeah.
was a student myself
Yeah. Yeah.
in university, and I remember how much time I used to invest in studying and understanding in my projects, and how I wasn't investing time in my physical health and my mental health. Okay, so
Okay.
these three elements, key elements: what you think, how you sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
what you eat.
Okay, thank you so much. And speaking of habits, another powerful factor in mental well being is mindset. Personally, I do believe that focusing on the positive and the good sides and aspects of life is the key to take control over our mental health. Do you agree? And what do you think about the role of mindset in mental well being?
100%. So there are many theories about the power of the mind
Mm-hmm.
and power of manifestation and the power of affirmation. So
Mm-hmm.
what you're mentioning right now is the power of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So affirmation is no matter what situation you are in, to try to see the positive side and going into gratitude. So we have
Mm-hmm.
manifestation, affirmation, and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Three very important elements as much as sleep, eat, and what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Affirmations are excellent, I mean, and I
Mm-hmm.
encourage everybody to have positive affirmations on their phones,
Mm-hmm.
okay, as
Yeah.
quotes,
Yeah.
to have them written down on their desk,
Mm-hmm.
in their room, in the house, on the fridge. It helps your subconscious mind come
Yeah.
back to something that is more positive and concrete.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is something that oftentimes we forget to mention.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only about what you say, it is about your vibration. So I can say all day, I love myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I can say, I love myself.
Yeah.
Do you see the
Yeah.
difference
Yeah. I see.
between these two same things
It's obvious. Yeah.
with the most profound element, which is your vibration?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you can see people that are going to say, for example, Alhamdulillah, and you're going to see people that are going to say Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay?
A big
That
difference.
is where the magic happens. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not what you say, it's what vibration you are connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, affirmations, I hear a lot of people talking about that, but it has an element that is missing if you spend your time just repeating things and you don't connect to the vibration of that thing that you want. Then there's going to be a separation, and there won't be, or there will be a delay
Mm-hmm.
in the creation of what
Mm-hmm.
you are looking for, or where you're choosing to put your mind and your focus and your energy.
That's really amazing. You are sharing information by heart, and I feel that. Finally, for the Moroccan engineering school students who often face a high pressure situation, what advice would you give them to maintain and to protect their mental stability?
Okay. First of all, find a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Find somebody that you are that is going to be a guide for you, that is going to be someone that inspires you, and listen and watch them as much as you can. Okay?
Yeah.
Connect to the vibration of this person, of what they do, how they do it, and when they do it. Okay? That's
Mm-hmm.
number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, take care of your physical and mental health. What
Mm-hmm.
does that mean? That means studying is a very important element, but these two other aspects are as important, if not more important,
Mm-hmm.
because the performance that you will have in your studies will be by far higher if you take the time to sleep enough
Mm-hmm.
and to eat correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the second element.
Yeah.
The third element is find a hobby. Find something that you're passionate about
Mm-hmm.
and that you love, and that you do not see the time pass when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this element is different for every person. Some people love to go to the gym. They don't see the time passing. Some
Mm-hmm.
people love to play an instrument, to play music. Some people like to spend time with children. Some people like to spend time with animals.
Mm-hmm.
Find your own equilibrium and find what is your true passion, and make sure every single day that you take the time in your busy schedule
Mm-hmm.
to incorporate this. This is going to help you achieve the impossible.
Mm-hmm. That was very clear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear, for sharing all the information. Everything was clear. Is there anything you want to add?
I want to add that the young generation today has a double, I would say duality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to take the time to shed some light on this, because of the social media and the fact that you are today able to get all the information that you want. It is the most valuable asset, but it
Mm-hmm.
could also be the most dangerous one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I invite the young generation and the students from your school to do is to always step back,
Mm-hmm.
take the information that is pouring from everywhere, and connect to what you feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get lost in the most shiny new thing that exists.
Mm-hmm.
But is that really what your soul and your heart want?
Good
So
question.
to always take the time to step back and ask yourself, what do I feel right now? Even if
Mm-hmm.
I'm attracted to this information, or I'm curious, or I feel lack, or I'm in, what do I feel inside my gut? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we come into intuition. Maybe another time we can sit and talk about
Yeah,
intuition. I
for
mean,
sure, for
I would
sure.
love to share that with
Yeah,
you
for sure.
and your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Intuition is a very, very powerful tool that can be developed. Okay, we
Okay.
all have it.
Mm-hmm.
We all have access
But
to
we need
it.
to develop it.
However, it is something that needs to be developed, and I can and would be more than glad to
Mm-hmm.
help anyone who wants to go into this voyage with me,
Mm-hmm.
to one, connect with who they really are, what they really want, and learn to listen and actually work with their intuition to their best and most value.
Mm-hmm.
Value, yes.
I see. Thank you so much. On behalf of DMC students, I thank you for your time and sharing. Everything was clear and practical and obvious too. Despite the time difference, you joined today. You were with us from Blainville, Canada. Thank you so much, and wishing you lots of success in your incredible and amazing career. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I mean, thank you. And if anybody wants to write me, email me,
Yeah,
they can follow me on the social medias. They have any questions, it's
yeah.
going to be a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I will share all the information with them.